So, let's talk about Lex Luthor. Now, before we get started about talking about Lex Luthor, there's going to be some spoilers for the final of Forever Evil. Although, granted, I can't really spoil Forever Evil because DC spoiled the things I'm going to talk about already in wait for Forever Evil number 7. Now, most of you guys know that I'm not a big fan of the New 52. If you like it, if anyone out there likes the New 52, it's totally fine. No ill will against you. Having said that, though, most of you guys know that Lex Luthor, next to Brainiac, is my favorite Superman villain. And if you guys saw the Milky Juice video, then you guys know you guys know that Lex Luthor is my number 3 DC villain. If you go by DC standards, if you go by DC villains on a whole, he's on number 3, but in terms of Superman villains, he's at number 2, with Brainiac being number 1. Which is also kind of funny, because Lex Luthor is the number 3 for Dan, Duke, Coolio, and Kirk as well. That is so weird, I know. Anyway, so, talking about Lex Luthor. Now, in this vid, I'm just going to be talking about what the future holds for good old Lex Luthor. Now, a lot of people have been saying that, oh, Lex is too nice, and, he's too nice in Forever Evil and all that. I say to that, that's what Lex wants. We all know Lex is the biggest egotist in the universe. He can't help himself, really, because the whole thing with Lex is that he wants people to look at him. He wants to feel superior over everyone else. He helps the city of Metropolis all the time because that means they have to acknowledge him. That's kind of one of the reasons why he hates Superman, because there's someone out there that looks down on him. So, what better way than to save the world from from a group of people who have the same powers as the Justice League, the very people he hates, and the whole world will praise him. So that makes a lot of sense. Luthor, also in Forever Evil number 7, saved Superman, who had a piece of kryptonite in his brain, and again, people are thinking, oh, so why he should have he would have let Superman die. To which I have a counter-argument. Luthor, and I'm going to say what my friend Blue Goblin 01 said on his review for Forever Evil number 7. I believe the two real reasons why Luthor would do something like that is, one, he saved Superman. He can always hold that over Superman's head for as long as they live. Oh yeah, you needed my help to save your life. This godlike being needed a mere mortal to save his life. He's always going to have that. And he's also, I believe Lex Luthor is that egotistical to not let anyone else kill Superman other than him. It has to be, Luthor has always wanted to be the one to defeat Superman, to crush him. So I can understand why he wouldn't let Superman die. He wouldn't let anyone else kill Superman over him. But yeah, Luthor, now, so that makes sense. I mean, also, the whole head of the, leader of the Justice League, Luthor, you see, now Luthor has all the cards now. Everyone has to pay attention to Lex Luthor. I'll give Jeff Johns credit when credit is due. Even though I'm not a big fan of the New 52, I still love how he writes Lex Luthor. It clearly shows that he knows how to write this character. He knows how to write Luthor. This very, and keep in mind, there's another reason why I like Lex Luthor. He's just human compared to this godlike, almost this nearly godlike being who could easily just crush his head, with his, in between his finger and his thumb, just crush his skull like that. And, Superman can't do anything. His greatest enemy is a mortal man. That's what I've always liked about Luthor. It's just that he's a normal person that can ruin so many lives, especially Superman's. And again, getting back to Jeff Johns, I gotta give credit when credit is due. I think he knows what he's doing with this whole Luthor in charge of the Justice League. There's gonna be some major changes to the League as well. Luthor is going to clearly have some personality. You know, obviously, this is not going to last long. Let's get that out of the way. Luthor is not going to be in charge of the Justice League for long. Maybe a story arc or two, but not too long. Let's face it. I don't think Luthor is gonna be on the Justice League for long because, oh boy, that ego of his. And we also saw Captain Cold on the team, which most of you guys know I love Captain Cold. He's like my, you know, right behind Brainiac, who's not only my favorite Superman villain, but also my favorite DC villain. He's my number 2 DC villain. So I'm really curious to see what's next for Captain Cold, because he's always kind of walked that line between hero and villain. But getting back to Luthor, Luthor is going to be definitely butting heads with what's left of who's left on the Justice League, who I believe is Batman, Captain Marvel. I'm not calling him Shazam. I think Wonder Woman's on there, and can't remember who else is on what's left of the lineup of the JLA. But yeah, clearly Superman and Flash aren't on there. I think Wonder Woman's still there. But anyway, Luthor is definitely going to have some changes, and the whole world's going to be, you know, praising him, and Luthor's just going to keep eating it up. And yeah, I'm almost tempted to go back and read the New 52. At least the Justice League comics, at least for the Luthor stuff, because I really want to see how Luthor's Justice League would be like, what exactly that kind of Justice League would be like. So yeah, there's a part of me that's really tempted to go read that just for the Lex Luthor stuff. But anyway, and again, like I said, I think he, next to Sinestro, I think Jeff Johns really this is the second best villain that he writes. First being Sinestro, but Lex Luthor comes in a close second of how Jeff Johns writing villains. I mean, I can't speak for every villain and character he writes. Actually, no, I can also say that he writes a really good Captain Cold. But in terms of New 52, that's, or as some people like to call it, Jeff Johns' clubhouse, the writing is kind of varying. But I still think he writes a decent Luthor. That's just my opinion. Your opinion may be different. That's totally fine. But anyway, I really want to know, guys, what do you guys think of the future of Lex Luthor, and where do you think he's going? And more importantly, how do you think this new Justice League is going to be like? And yeah, once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.